No one plays more of your favorites. Your favorites. 93.9 The Duck.
Back here on our high school sports preview for 2013. Our Friday night main event will be coming your way on the 23rd. And we got a big one, first game of the season, don't we, Mike Mulder?
Yes, sir. I'm really looking forward to that. Going up to see Siegel and Blackman, two of the dominating teams in probably the last 3 or 4 years over in District 7.
Got a special guest on the line?
Donovan, you with us, buddy?
I sure am.
Donovan Stewart, he's a freelance writer out of Murfreesboro. He's won numerous Tennessee Sports Writer Awards. Does a weekly column for Prep Football. He's also on ESPN Radio, discusses high school football there. Donovan, you got a new adventure I'm sure you might want to mention?
Yeah, Athlon has just released their first high school magazine. It's all preps. It's all high school. It's really cool because I was able to do Tennessee, but it's a good product just because it's Athlon. I mean,
Absolutely.
Athlon is such a national magazine publication, and every state, all 50 states are profiled. They teamed with 24/7 Sports, and they've got like 30 pages of recruiting, talking about the best players in the country in 2014 and 2015.
Is that out now, Donovan?
Yes, it's out now. You can get it at the Walmarts, your grocery stores, your bookstores. Basically, anybody that sells Athlon products, that's where you'll find it.
Good deal. Donovan, I know you and I have kind of touched base, compared notes on the teams in each classification. I kind of wanted to, go over who we feel is going to advance pretty far this year, kind of get your input, and you tell us what you think, and then I'll get my buddy Gary to correct you if you got anything wrong.
Right, gotcha.
We'll start off in the lower class, Class A, Coach. We've got Cofield at number 1. South Pitt, probably flip a coin situation there, I would say. A lot of talent returning for both those teams. And then over in the West, we feel Dresden and Humboldt, one of those two teams are likely to represent. What's your thoughts?
You can't go wrong with any of those four. I mean, I'm old school, being the son of a coach. I believe that you're number one until somebody beats you. So when I did all my spring top 10s,
right,
regardless if they were the number one team in the state, talent-wise, what they had coming back, I made them number one.
Right.
And obviously, Gordon's was going to be pretty good. They lost quite a bit, but they still have the Cason kid at running back. The thing is, they're in such a tough district. That's going to be their big hurdle right there, especially with Goodpasture coming in that district. But Cofield, I mean, it lines up for Cofield perfectly. I mean, they've got 17 starters back. They've got an offensive line that averages like 275. I mean, if you looked at their offensive line and didn't know what school it was, you would think you're looking at a 5 or 6A school. That's how big those guys are, and they're 1A.
Right.
You can't disagree. I can't disagree with South Pittsburgh. They've got some North Jackson transfers. I hear everything's looking good there. Tim Moore is the new coach. I love Tim Moore.
He was a defensive coach at Laverne, right?
He was the defense coordinator at Laverne, but I know him from BGA. He was the head coach at BGA when they won a couple state titles in the early 2000s.
Right.
They're going to be good. South Pittsburgh's always good. I mean, you can always mark down, a couple of teams you look at every year in each classification, and you don't really need to know personnel. You just know they're going to be good.
Right.
And South Pitt is obviously that gold standard in single A. Dresden, Dresden, Humboldt, I think you're good. I think the one team you can watch that will go west, that's from the area, is Nashville Christian. I know Jeff Brothers is since he's gotten there, he's completely turned that program around.
I'm with you on that, Donovan. I got slammed on that Coach T. I'm sure you saw that. I had him really high on Coach T, and them guys just wore me out.
I think going west. I think going west now that Huntington went up 2A.
Right.
I think it could be with Huntington beat them last year in the semifinals. Mm-hmm. So of course the only problem is the only way to get better is to go to the finals.
Right.
But the thing is, I think what he's got coming back, I think he can do it. And the thing is, if Dresden and Humboldt beat each other up, Nashville Christian could slide right in there.
True.
But I like the four teams you guys had. But I'm going to throw in Nashville Christian because I think they could surprise some people out there.
Agreed.
Hey, Donovan, and this is Trey McAllen. In 2A, we have Mitchell at the top, followed by Marion County, with Grace Christian and Goodpasture as the leading contenders for the gold ball. What do you think about those picks
I think,
as well?
again, those four, I know I had those four up there. The scary team, when you talk to coaches like I've done all off season, the scary team that everybody's asked about, they asked about Humboldt in 1A, and they asked about Mitchell in 2A, because Mitchell was a 4A school last year.
Right.
So, the thing is their talent hasn't diminished. So you're talking about a 4A school that's dropped to 2A.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at their district has to be the worst district known to man. There is the worst district I have ever seen line up.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is, that's perfect for them because they're going to win a lot of ball games.
But does it hurt them?
But my question is, when they get into a ball game with the Huntington, with somebody out west that can go toe-to-toe with them and can punch them in the mouth, they should win every district game by 30 or 40 points.
So will they be prepared?
Will they be prepared, and can they answer the call when somebody hits them in the mouth? Because that's the thing. When you're going to play a Huntington, when you're going to play somebody out there that's tradition, they're going to hit you in the mouth. So can Mitchell respond? But the thing is, if Mitchell responds, I don't see any reason why they're not in the state championship game.
What do you feel about Marion County? I know Coach Mac McCurry's out there. He has he's from Lynchburg area, real close to us here.
Well,
and he plays that.
I'm a Jasper boy. That's where my dad was at.
Okay.
That's where my dad was at when my dad was part of that staff that won the 4 state championships.
And that's the other side of that, Donovan. Look at their schedule. I mean, they've got the difficult schedule. So
They do. And actually, the big stud running back broke his hand the other day.
Really?
So don't know how he is. But the thing is, I know he's going to be
Shoemaker?
in a cast. I know he's going to be in a cast, but the thing is, he broke his hand. He didn't break his arm.
Right.
So that's another good thing.
was it Shoemaker or Willis?
That would have been the Zeman, Blake Zeman. The senior
fullback.
running back.
I'm sorry. Yeah, fullback.
Yeah, right. They're going to be good, but their thing is, just like everybody else can scream this as well, it's going to be depth.
Right.
And, that out-of-district schedule is tough. And the thing is knowing Week 10, if they don't slip up in the district, they're playing South Pittsburgh for the district championship.
Right.
And, the thing is,
Those two teams hate each other, too.
A lot of love there.
God, with a passion.
That's beyond hate. That's an Auburn, Alabama.
Gordonsville, Smith County.
Right. That's an Ohio State, Michigan situation. And, they're 8 miles apart. But they're going to be good, but, they'd have to deal with Grace.
Right. Well, let's move on to 3A, Donovan. In 3A, quite honest, us guys over here at the Duck, we're pretty familiar with 5 and 6A. We're pretty familiar with 1 and 2. Don't know a lot about 3 and 4. Obviously, we've got Alcoa at the top. We've got Notre Dame, which I caught a lot of criticism over that pick. I think Tyner's going to be tough this year. And then, of course, you got Camden over in the West. And a lot of Milan fans think I'm leaving them out. So what do you think about those picks?
Well, 3A is kind of weird. CAK's been dominant the last 2 years. I don't think they'll be as good this year. Alcoa is definitely the team to beat in 3A. I like CPA from this area. I think CPA Ingle's done a great job. He's got 2 Missouri commitments on his team. I mean, Thomas Richard is a great wide receiver, and then Paul Adams is the big offensive lineman. So CPA looks good, and the thing is, CPA, you spoke of Milan. They have the Milan roadblock. I mean, the last 2 years they've got to the semifinals,
yes,
and it's ended in the semifinals because of Milan. Mm-hmm. But they play each other in the regular season this year at Vanderbilt. So
that's going to be a good game.
I like Camden. I think Camden's a good pick. I think really and truly, and I hate saying this early, but I think whoever comes out of the West is the lamb to the slaughter, because I just think Alcoa's that.
That's kind of the way it's been. I mean, with CAK the last 2 years putting a beat down on Milan, so yeah, that's par for the course.
Well, and if you look before CAK broke through and beat Alcoa, look at Alcoa in those title games. Unfortunately for David Lipscomb and the Good Pastures and the Milans of the world, it wasn't even close when they got to the state title game.
Okay, Donovan, with going on to 4A, because we all believe in the landslide. Alcoa has got 3A covered as usual. With 4A, this one's awful tough for us as well, just because we're not familiar with the East Tennessee area as much. We've got Fulton repeating, followed by Greensville, Elizabeth, and in my opinion, I have Signal Mountain at number 2, but they have them about number 4 overall.
Trey and I have disagreed a little bit. He's reluctantly kind of went with my picks today, but he's probably going to be laughing at me toward the end of the year, I'm sure.
Well, me and Trey are kind of together on this because I know in spring I had.
Okay, Donovan, thank you for your time.
Okay, Donovan, you're wrong.
But the thing is, that spring top 10, I can always reserve the right to kind of change my mind. But the thing is, Fulton, they are so talented. It's not funny. Signal Mountain's going to be good in that area. Elizabethton, especially with Ethan Thomas being a junior, if you've not seen this guy run the football, he's amazing. And Greenville will be really good again. So the East is going to be pretty strong. Now, Giles County, if they go west, I think Giles County's got a really good shot.
Well, that was one of the teams you and I were discussing. I think they will be tough, but I don't know how well the new coaching staff with Smith is going to adapt to that. You know, that what was his background? Mount Pleasant, and then he went to, what was his, King? Is that correct?
He was at Zion Christian.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
right.
I don't know. Of course, he did bring in a heck of a staff, so I may be wrong, but I know you're really high on Giles.
Well, Giles, I like their athletes, and they're just one of those little programs that has athletes. And
right.
being basically the only school in the county, they're getting the good athletes, so they're going to be good. David Barger, who's a friend of mine, who was the head coach at Lake County, he's now the defensive coordinator at Giles. And everything I'm hearing up there, it's good. And right now, their defense is ahead of their offense, which is pretty scary because to win a state championship in 4A, to beat somebody like Fulton, you're going to have to play some defense. And if their defense plays well and their offense can catch up, I think they'll be good. The only thing is, I don't have a problem with Walt per se, but their schedule. If you look at their schedule is absolutely brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they go to Innsworth. I mean, one thing that Coach O'Connor did, he loaded it up before he left.
Right.
So, it's a loaded schedule, but if they can survive the schedule, they'll be pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Donathan, Josh Mulder here. We think that 5A will be pretty competitive. Our top 4 in this class are Beach, led by that stud Jalen Hurd.
Ooltewah,
Henry County, and Ridgeway at 4. There were about 4 teams we basically had tied at that position.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've said this before. I think 5A is the most competitive because I don't think there's a dominant team.
I like Cleveland, too.
But there's a lot of good teams.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland's in that mode.
Mm-hmm.
Ooltewah's in that mode.
Right.
Hamilton is in that mode.
Right.
And those 3 teams are in the same district.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be a tough district there.
Ridgeway could be the class out west. Supposedly their junior class is really, really talented. And if you look at their best players out there, I know their quarterback's a junior. They've got a running back and a wide receiver that's a junior. So this may not be their year. Their real good year could be next year. But I like Ridgeway. I like your pick there. Beach, I mean, how can you go wrong with this defending state champion? I know they've got to do some stuff on defense, and they've got to find some offensive linemen, but really does Jalen Hurd really need a lot of room? I mean, the guy's amazing, but, can he have a season like he had last year? I don't think he can because he's having to play defense this year. And, a lot of teams are going to load up and say, you know what, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to do it throwing the football. You're going to have to do it a different way. But Henry County, I like Henry County. And those 2 teams playing in week 1 at Beach is crazy. I mean, I think it's great for high school football that basically the best 2 teams in the state in the classification are playing in the regular season, and it doesn't mean anything in the district.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Hey, Donovan, this is Trey again, and I'm in agreement with you and everybody else is too with Beach. And being a big Tennessee fan, I've been following Jalen Hurd for the last 2 years tremendously. I saw last night that he had in a half of football against Dixon County, he had 6 carries, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns, a block punt for a touchdown, and forced a fumble all in the half before they called the game at half with the rain.
That's my boy.
And I totally agree with you that, he's not, it's a whole full team, but having Jalen Hurd on your side doesn't hurt, and I don't really know anybody in the state that's going to be able to stop him.
So somebody said Murphy Fair said that Jalen wouldn't play offensive side of the ball in college. What do you think about that?
I don't see how a guy like that, I'll put it to you this way, if they put him on offense, they ought to be fired. Because that guy, I mean, I can see, sometimes they may not have the speed, or they're not the amount of speed. But the thing about Jalen is he has all the tools. He's 240, and he can perform. I don't know what else you need to play running back in the SEC. I mean, he's pretty impressive. I think he's one of the best. In my 17 years, he's one of the top 2 or 3 that I've recovered in the running back.
I agree.
He's quite
Donovan, you cutting out on me a little bit, buddy. You ain't moving around, are you?
Oh, yeah. Always.
Hey, Donovan, quickly, we're going to go ahead and move on to 6A. That's a tough. It's probably as tough as any to pick, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, obviously you're going to have Whitehaven and Maryville. You know, both these two teams have been in the championship the past 2 years, and I think most publications have them, you know, again as the 1-2. We like Oakland over here at the Duck. I think Coach McDaniel's got a heck of a squad. He's got a lot of returners, and Emmanuel Smith, stud player. So, what's your take on 6A?
I like all 3 of those teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing is I think Whitehaven, if Oakland goes east, which usually the champion of that district will go east, and then the other ones go west.
Right.
I like Oakland, Whitehaven. I think Oakland, Maryville in the semifinals would be amazing. That would be an epic game. The thing is, it would be at Maryville this year,
mm-hmm.
and then Whitehaven would be coming to Mid-State. And I know this is another team that nobody's talking about because everybody's thinking that they lost too much. Watch Mount Juliet. Mount Juliet's going to be really good.
Well, now, it's funny that you said that. They had a scrimmage down here in Shelbyville this week against 5A Shelbyville, and my take from our local paper was that Shelbyville give them all they wanted. And, of course, you got Roger stepping down this year, and his son, Troy, I think his name, stepping in as head coach. So how much is Coach Roger going to be involved with this?
He's going to be the offensive coordinator. He's calling the offense.
Okay.
He's calling the offense. Trey's going to call the defense.
Gotcha.
It's not that a lot's going to change, but the thing is they've got 4 transfer kids. And they've got a kicker, James Wilhoit, who is at UT. He was a great kicker. He's on staff. He's a coach now at Mount Juliet. He's going to be on staff. So, you know, like I said, they're kind of laying in the weeds, and I think that's kind of the way they like it. Because, you know, everybody's kind of writing them off. But, I mean, I know I had them, I think, 5 in my...
I've got them 4 in mine, Donovan. I mean, Roger and I, we've spoken several times on the phone. He's a good friend, and I'm with you. I think they're kind of laying low and going to jump up and bite a few teams here.
Hey, Donovan.
And, I mean, the only thing is if they go west, you're looking at having to deal with Whitehaven.
Whitehaven, obviously.
And, I mean, I saw them at Vanderbilt on 7-on-7. You know, 7-on-7 in scrimmages I just don't take a lot of stock in because, you know, coaches are experimenting and they're doing a lot of things that they're not going to do in the regular season.
Uh-huh.
And they're playing a lot of kids.
Right.
But Whitehaven has so many athletes. It's so ridiculous.
Memphis is eat up with athletes.
Oh, no doubt.
What about Independence? What's your take on them with having Vic Wharton and also having Rashawn Golden, the 2 guys that Tennessee's highly recruiting, and they're verbal to them right now?
Well, and they also have the Sturban kid. He is going to Missouri. They've got 3 Division I commitments.
Uh-huh.
They're going to be good. They're going to be good. The only thing is though is they're going to be pretty good on defense. But how is that offense going to translate for Scott? I mean, Scott's an evil genius on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you know, but the thing is how is it going to translate? And you know, that's a pretty tough district. I mean, if there's a year to come in and take a district, it's this year because, you know, Brentwood lost a lot. You know, Franklin's been down. I think Franklin's going to be much improved. I think Ravenwood's going to be much improved. If you want a guy to watch out for, Van Jefferson, who is the son of Sean Jefferson, who is the Titans wide receivers coach, his son Van is 6'4", about 220, and he's a junior. And he is an absolute monster.
Ball player, huh?
Saw him at Vanderbilt. He can absolutely get it. And supposedly Sean says he's better than he was at that age.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
Right, because I mean Sean Jefferson played like 12 years in the NFL.
Yes, sir.
So I think Franklin's a little bit better. I think Ravenwood will be a little bit better. Centennial will be pretty good, but I think Independence is pretty good. It's just I don't know how far. When you're talking about playoffs, I don't know how far can they beat one of the Rutherford County teams? Could they beat Mount Juliet? You know, it's when you get to the playoffs, I think it'll be good in the regular season. But when you get to the playoffs, I don't know. It's going to be tough.
Dobbins-Bennett is another team we haven't mentioned. I think they're going to be pretty stout this year.
Dobbins-Bennett will be good. Of course, Graham Clark's just a great coach.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people. Of course, I had them in my spring top 10, and I caught a bunch of crap because everybody thinks Science Hill. Science Hill is going to be pretty good this year, and they think that Science Hill this is their year to get Dobbins-Bennett, but. Dobbins-Bennett has won 24 in the district, so I mean, until you beat them, they're in my book. Until you beat them, they're still the top dogs.
Right.
Hey, Donovan.
But Dobbins-Bennett always puts out a good product. I mean, Graham is a great coach.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Donovan, it's Trey again. One question about a private school. I know we've gone through the 6 classifications, but Innsworth, I won't name the publication that said it because it kind of conflicts with Athlon, but they've one of the things has rated Innsworth the 20th best team in the entire country. And do you feel like that's correct? And as far as them being the best team,
I think Athlon had them at 18. So
Okay.
18, 20. I saw Rivals had them at. I guess Rivals had them at 20. National Prep Poll had them at 21. That's about right. I mean, they're going to be good. I mean, I know you don't. I don't take a lot from scrimmages, but noticing how they kind of handled Maryville last time. I mean, they were up 28-7 on 28-6 on Maryville.
That's big.
Early.
That's
and
unheard of.
They're going to be really good. They're going to be really good. And I mean, if you've seen their offensive line, that's the reason why they're going to be really good. I mean, they've got some monsters up front. I mean, you're talking Mike Sawyers, who's committed to Vandy. Parker Wade is a stud. Xavier Forrest is the biggest 6'4", 310-pound tight end I've ever seen in my life that can move. I mean, they're going to be real good. And, a lot of people ask about the DeAndre Furby kid, replacing Cornelder. When you've got a line like that and you're a pretty good player, I mean, you're going to put up some pretty big numbers.
Absolutely.
Well, Don, we're getting up against the clock, buddy. I sure do appreciate you coming on with us. Tell everybody again where they can get your publication at and give us a little info on that.
You can find my weekly stuff, my daily stuff at examiner.com or Coach T. He leaks a lot of my stuff. Or you can go out and get the Athlon magazine. It's the first high school edition, all 50 states.
Picking that up when I leave here.
And you can get it at grocery stores, bookstores, or Walmart, wherever they sell Athlon.
All right, buddy. We appreciate it. We're definitely going to try to do this again before the end of the season.
Oh, no doubt. Just let me know. I'd be happy to come on anytime.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks.
Trey, I figured we probably need to put a little time in here to plug our weekly show. We'll have our Friday night main event. Those of you that are big college fans, we intend to follow a similar format to what they do in college game day every Saturday. We'll be going to different schools, trying to get the best game available each week. We'll talk to opposing coaches at that school. We'll discuss the biggest games for that particular Friday night. Josh, Gary, and myself will be on location 4 to 6. I think Neil comes in at 6.
Yeah,
Is that correct, Neil?
Yeah, we're going to do Backroads to Music City from 6 until 7 during the drive time while folks are getting out to that game.
Yeah, got to
going to be
some.
calling.
Neil will be providing a lot of good music for us to listen to, and then of course at 7 o'clock, Gary and Josh and I will come back and broadcast the game on location. We're really excited. I think it's going to be
a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So.
I think it'll be good to get around the mid-state and see all the talent that's
it will.
just in this area.
Trey will be running the boards for us here during that. He'll be providing scores, so stay with the Duck all night. We'll have scores for your game.
And we have a Twitter feed as well, so feel free to get on your smartphone and Twitter me some scores. That way I've got it up to date around the state, so we'll do more than mid-state.
Trey, we're at Tennessee Sports. Your Twitter address is what?
It's at Trey McAllen.
At Trey McAllen. Just shoot us the scores. We'd be more than happy to share them over there. Neil?
Yeah, man.
I guess that's about it for us. Got anything to add?
No, I guess, Mike, we're just looking forward to it, and that's in 2 weeks, right?
Yes, sir. August 23rd, 4 p.m. will be our first broadcast at Siegel. We'll have Blackman Siegel. As I said, we'll discuss all the big games that week. It should be a blast.
Way cool. So, guys, we're looking forward to it. Folks, make sure you tune in on every Friday night. Pre-game show 4 to 6. Backroads to Music City 6 to 7. And then the game of the week 7 till the cows come home. Anyway, so that's been Mike Mulder. And, run everybody's name one more time for me, Mike.
We got Mike Mulder, Josh Mulder. My oldest son will be with us, Gary Daring, obviously the main man. And we got big Trey McAllen be running the boards for us all week.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. We're going to take a break here on 93.9 The Duck, and we'll get back to some regular music. And we're going to on live remote at Northside Liquors. So,
oh, boy.
Here we go. It'll be just a few minutes, but we're going to go take some music and pay these bills.
Looking for excitement in your artwork for your special project, team, or business? Come see A Winning Attitude. No cookie-cutter designs here, and you'll get the personal attention you deserve and a commitment from A Winning Attitude to do the job right the first time. They specialize in screen printing and embroidery, and they also offer trophies, plaques, signs, stickers, and almost everything you need for your school, business, or group. Come see the friendly folks at A Winning Attitude, 111 Murfreesboro Highway in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5:30 and 9 to 2 on Saturday. Call them at 931-728 1978. A winning attitude in Manchester.
It's the weekend grand opening of Paradise Bar and Grill. Friday and Saturday, doors open at 10:30 a.m. for their lunch and dinner menu of delicious burgers, sandwiches, and more. Full selection of bottle and draft beer and energy shots, too. Friday night, DJ Evan kicks off at 9. Saturday night, Tequila Black's going to be rocking. You could win prizes both nights. Karaoke Thursday night, live entertainment every weekend, and most Wednesday nights, new dance floor, lighting, and the best sound system. Tullahoma's new place for food and fun. Paradise Bar and Grill, 808 South Anderson Street. Must be 21.
The Pig in Shelbyville is inviting you to save big with their back-to-school savings. All natural assorted pork chops, $1.58 a pound. Split chicken breasts, $1.18 a pound. Country-style pork ribs, only $1.69 a pound. Galtney sliced bacon, $2.69 each. Or get school lunch ready with Brian sliced bologna, $1.19. Or Brian sliced ham or turkey breast, $2.19 each. Bags of Frito-Lay Fritos, Cheetos, or Ruffles, 2 for $5. Capri Sun fruit juice, 2 for $5. Or 6-pack selected varieties of Kool-Aid Bursts, only $1. Come in and check for many more deals. Piggly Wiggly, 874 Union Street, Shelbyville. Savings plus service equals satisfaction.
WDUC, Lynchburg, Tullahoma, Shelbyville, 93.9, The Duck.